Hello, welcome to this fourth video about how to make complete US25656. So in the previous videos we've planned our website, we've made the web pages, we've added basic elements and structural tags, and we've added some media. Now we're going to link our web pages together and link to external sources using hyperlinks. Alright, so back to this, I have my IDE open here. This is where you go to write your web pages. If you don't remember, look at the previous videos, but you just get there by projects IDE and then HTML CSS up in the top here. So here we've got our three pages. I've got hobbies, I've got index, and I've got whānau. Alright, now we are making them all linked together. So if I go to index, which is at the moment probably one of my most complete ones, I would want to go kawaii about me, and down here I would want to add anchor tags. Now if I forget what they look like, I can always go to the reference. Nothing wrong with looking it up. So here I'm going to look up anchor tag A, and oh look at that, to make it open a new tab in a new place I would use target. That is not taught in the intro lesson, but it is taught in the level 1 course. And then there's href.google.com. So if I Control C, copy that, and then Control V, paste that. In fact, I actually don't want this part to open up in a new tab. You can see here we've got a hyperlink that would take us to Google if I clicked on it. Oh, wait, probably have to refresh my page. And that's taken me to Google. So we want it to go to whānau page, and we want it to go to hobbies. I'm actually just going to paste this down here now while I've got this as well, because we're going to add the folks on, and I would like it to go to blank. I would like it to open up a new tab, and to use that we use target blank. Alright, so let's go back to index, and here our first page is called index.html. Now because they're in the same place, they're not inside of a folder like images are, they're in their own space, we don't need to put any like C or anything like that in it. It can just look like that, and we'll make this say kawaii. Then we can copy this, Control C, Control V, Control V. Don't make more work than you have to. My second page is called whānau, and I'm going to put it as the title as well. And then the last page is called hobbies. And here we go, hobbies. Alright, let's test this out. If I open this up on a new page, testing it, I can click on kawaii, and it takes me here. I click on whānau, and it takes me to this page where I don't have any hyperlinks yet. And I click on hobbies, and it takes me to the hobbies page, which is completely empty at the moment. So let's change that. Let's go here, and I'm just going to copy and paste all of this because I need all of it. So we're going to copy and paste the heading, H1, and all of the three anchor tags. So Control C. Oh wait, first of all, I've got to make a decision. I don't actually like having it just straight like this. I could obviously use BR to break it up into a list if I wanted to, like that, but I don't want to. I don't like how that looks so much. I prefer having pipes. Now if you don't know where pipes are on your screen, they're just above the enter key. You hold shift and you pipe it. They're called, I think, vertical lines as well. And I just like them because I like how it looks when I open this up. So I just like that break there. But equally, you don't have to use anything. You can use plus, you can use the tilde character. Yes, that is indeed what it's called. You can do whatever you want. This is your web page, this is your student's web page, it doesn't matter. But as I said, I like using pipe, and it's easier to do this once and then copy it over. So line 4 to line 7, Control C, put it in hobbies, let's chuck it down here. Notice it doesn't have to be on line 4, it can be wherever I want it to be. But whatever goes above it in the code goes above it on the page, and whatever goes underneath it goes underneath it. Ooh. All right. Oh, sometimes that happens, just hit refresh. It's because I hit all random keys on my keyboard when I did that stabby thing. Yeah, if you ever run into problems, first of all, refresh, right? Second of all, make sure that you're not on Internet Explorer, because that's a big one. Okay, so we've got this here, and then we need to do it for whānau as well. So again, go, oh, this one's missing, it's a doc type. I am just going to copy that from index. So this title is called whānau. And this is going to say whānau/family, because we are doing a little bit of translating to help with accessibility. So if we go to index and hobbies, and this one needs to say hobbies. I actually don't know what hobbies is in today, I should really look that up. Alright, now as you can see, this doesn't have anything in it. It will. I'm going to talk about soccer here. Oh, but not like that line. We're going to go H2 soccer. Or I think if someone was really into soccer, they would call it football. And I'm going to go straight to Wikipedia. Alright, Wikipedia football. And I'm going to link this. Control C, Control V, and I'm just going to copy this. And your students can copy this. We don't care what your students actually write, as long as it's appropriate to the target audience and it meets copyright laws. Now Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, you are able to copy code from it. It is much better, though, if you copy code from it, that you have this down here. You have a hyperlink to it. So you can go snippet from, oh, sorry, that's a anchor tag href equals. Please make sure, one of the biggest problems students have, and I wonder if I can zoom in to make this a bit easy to see. One of the biggest problems students have is that they forget to add this on the end and they forget to close their tags. Often it will tell you, it'll give you hints. Like for example, if I just start a random A in here, notice how everything's changed colour? Well, that part there is purple because I have not closed off my A tag, like that. If you had it where everything was blue afterwards, it's because, oh, I have my A tag and my href, like down here, but it thinks everything here is like what's called a string, and it's not. So what you need to have is a closing tag, like a closing thing, and then a closing one like that, and that will make everything after it perfect. Of course, officially is not a recognized tag, so we can get rid of that. So inside here, if you look, I've got snippet from, and there's just nothing in here, no text. Let's make that a bit bigger. So snippet from, and we have a link here, but it's not showing up. That's because we haven't just put any text in here. So we've got Wikipedia. There we go. And if I want to put it on a new paragraph, I would make this one a P, and then this one a P, like this for paragraph. Now, I've seen some students go P1 and P2. That's wrong. P's don't have 1s and 2s, only headings do, because they have different settings. So we're going to go H2 here, and another hobby is reading. And here I might add a picture of a book. So if I go books, and great. So when you're selecting an image, you can just find one, right? I might start this actually from Google. So if you're in Google, or you can actually even just type it up here, you can type in, let's go fantasy books, they're fun. And images. Now we're going to get a lot of stuff that, well, we can use it because we're kind of educating people about ourselves, and that meets the criteria. What we can do is we can go to Tools and Usage Rights, and we can just say Label for Reuse, and that will cut down on all the stuff that is trademarked and copyrighted. So, I quite like that picture, or maybe this one. So if I find a picture that I like, I can click on it, right click, and in fact it's better to view the image as a whole. And in fact this takes you to Pixel Bay, which is great. It tells you that it's CC0, absolutely free, you don't need to tell anybody about it. And that's free for download. I don't want to download it, I just want to use the link to it. So I'm going to right click and go copy image address. That's right click, copy image address. But it's good to know that it's totally free and we're allowed to use it without telling anyone where we got it from or anything like that. So image tags, I've forgotten image tags. Let's have a look. We go reference and we go image, IMG, or the word image. And you can see here it needs a source tag and it needs an alt tag. So let's go. In fact, I could copy and paste that, but I remember it. So IMG, SRC equals. Remember, you start with one of those. You have to end with one of those. Alt equals. Some quote marks there. Or double apostrophes, as someone called it the other day. And we're going to go books. And that's really big for that screen. So I'm going to go width equals 50%. Now to be really, really clear, we do not teach alt tags in our intro to coding, right? We only teach height, width, and source. So you need to teach them alt tag. That's something that you'll need to teach yourself because it's quite crucial and it's quite useful. So I'm going to get rid of these. We don't need all those. Go back to Web IDE. Yep, and we can see here it's 50% of the size of the page. If we make this bigger, it's 50%, 50%. If I made this really big, 50% of the page. It's bigger and smaller again. All right, and I don't need to give any sort of attribution to it at all because it's free. Let's go back to that football one. Football Wikipedia. All right, let's see if I did find a photo that was copyrighted. What would I have to do? Let's click on this and see. So here we go. This is not copyrighted. This is under the Creative Commons license, but you do have to say where you got it from or who posted it up there. So CC by share alike. That's what that means. You can click on this to read more about that. They try and make it pretty clear. You are free to share it and you're free to make changes to it. So that's really good. So if we go back to this football, so right click, copy image address, and we're going to put it in here. Image, SRC equals, quotation marks, copy paste. I know I'm going fast, but this is a video, so you can pause and rewind as much as you need to. Alt, oh, not salt, alt llama. And we can go in here and say it's a picture of football. And you can see how that's gone green there. It's because we haven't closed off our tag. It's always a really good clue. If something's gone wrong with the color beneath it, it's usually the line just before it. Cool. Now we have to give attribution to this. So we can go P, or if you don't want it to P, you might, if you don't want it to be a paragraph tag, you might want to go H5. There are 6 H's altogether that you can choose from. And we can just copy this. Oh. So we can go grant 55. Find grant 55. And then just copy and paste this in. Alright. It's not a very nice picture actually. I don't care. It's fine. It'll be great. Alright, so again, I could add width here, equals. Now some of you might be yelling at the screens because you know that you really shouldn't use width down here. You should use it when you're making your CSS and making the page pretty. That's great, but that's not what we teach in our intro to coding. We teach the bare basics here. So here we teach width as part of image. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's great. Go do our level 1 course and you'll understand. Cool, so we've got hobbies is looking all fleshed out, that's looking good. If we go to index, that's got a few things in it. I haven't got my whakatauki yet. Mako, I'm going to find it, I'm going to spell it wrong, I just know it. Nakutaroro, there we go, I knew that. Oh, even with the English translation, that's cool. This one is my favorite. Control C, I'm just copying them, I'm pasting them in, and to cover my butt, I'm going to copy the web page. For more whakatauki, C, anchor href equals this page. And actually, what's that web page called? Just Māori Proverbs, Woodward Māori. Weird that they've got the macron there, but not the anyway. This Proverbs website. And again, we're going to want this to be broken up and broken up. Right, because it doesn't matter how many spaces we put in between this, it's all going to clump together up here. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, look back at my first video, or second video rather. And we're testing it by opening it up and having a look. Naku te raro, nau te raro, ka ora te iwi, ka ora ai te iwi. And Proverbs should really be in quote marks. Alright, so we have been covering how to link your web pages together to make an actual website. And we've also been looking at how to use href to open up, to link to other websites outside of what we've got. Now what I've made here doesn't actually look completely like my conceptual design. That is okay. I can tailor my conceptual design to match this or match this a little bit before I hand in my assessment. Right, you don't have to do the planning first and then do this completely separate. You can go back and forth because in real life you go back and forth. Alright, thank you for this. We've got another video on how to test everything.